Hey fashion lovers, welcome to the Fashion Try-On. If you want to support our channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. Today we're unboxing and trying on the entire Skims Swarovski collaboration. Now this collaboration was very limited and is sold out in stores and online, but it is available at some reselling sites such as StockX and eBay. As always, be sure to check the description below for links and discounts. All right, without further ado, we are going to start our unboxing tour with the Jelly Sheer Square Neck Bodysuit in the color Onyx. So if you've seen any of the other Swarovski Skims unboxings on our channel, you will recognize this packaging. A little bit about the backstory is that the octagon on the front is intended to represent a Swarovski crystal, where the logos on the sides of the box represent the branded names Skims and Swarovski along the facets. I really do think that they nailed it with this packaging. It feels very luxurious, and honestly, it feels like a clean experience. As you can see, with all of the details down to the Swarovski Skims, clean white tissue paper that just comes very polished and unwrinkled. What I mean is that this really just feels like a fresh, new, untouched item. Alrighty, pulling out our item, we get an instant shock of Swarovski crystals. Of course, we do have the overhead lights on, so they are glistening very beautifully, but I think it just shows that when these crystals do catch the light, they are going to sparkle. First impressions of this bodysuit were that it was a little thin and wrinkly. Now, I haven't tried Skims' other products that are similar to this without the crystals, so I'm not sure if that is a standard element of this type of material, but it struck me as a little strange to be so flimsy. That being said, I do know that this could be either a standalone top or an under cami. So take it for what you will. We will try this on towards the end of the unboxing so you can get the full effect of, inspiration for how you might wear it yourself. One stylistic element to draw our attention to is actually the placement of the crystals on this. So this item has the similar type of more concentrated crystals towards the chest and then a dissipation towards the tummy area, just like the cami dress. However, when we take a look at other items such as the bandeau, we see all over crystals. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like this orientation of, more concentrated crystals at the top and then a dissipation towards the bottom? Or were you hoping for a few more crystals? Okay, trying this on and getting a first look at the bodysuit, I do think it looks like a very nice fitted top. I do think the distribution of the crystals was flattering, and I think the neckline and the backline were very attractive. All right, next up, we're actually going to try on this Jelly Sheer Tank bodysuit in the color Cocoa. So reminder, this was the Onyx and in the size small, and we're going to try on the Cocoa in a size small as well. So just a quick note, I also tried on the extra small in this item, and I thought it was a little tight, although it was still doable. And I also tried on the medium, which was a little bit loose, but again, doable. So I do feel like there's flexibility with these sizes. Of course, we'll give a quick moment for the striking silver packaging with both the Swarovski and Skims S elements. And then we have to dive in. This is the color Cocoa, and I must say, I am a fan. Now, I will say when I tried this on in the black, I was a really big fan of the fit. So I do have really high hopes for this bodysuit. All right, getting a first look at our bodysuit, we can see it is still the beautiful cocoa color, which is adorned with the monochrome brown Swarovski crystals, which just makes this an overall moment. And one of my favorite things about this collection is the placement of the crystals. They really did not spare any expense, especially on the front as well as on the back, but I feel like it's less of a focal point, but they did not forget about it. And of course, this is a bodysuit, so I gotta let you know how it connects. All right, so taking a look at the additional tag wear, I did try on a small in this piece, and that seems to be the size that fits me. For reference, I wear about a 0 or a 2 in other brands, so I hope that helps you with your sizing. I did have to size up in this brand, which I wasn't really expecting to do because it is known as shapewear brand. So I thought, maybe the more form-fitting, the better, but I have found that it is not the most forgiving fabric. That being said, once I found my right size, I thought this was the most flattering bodysuit I've ever worn. It is genuinely so smoothing. It made me feel confident. I could wear this absolutely anywhere. Okay, next up we have the Skims Swarovski Jelly Sheer Long Sleeve Crew Neck Bodysuit. This item is in the extra small size, and if you're familiar with the sizing for Skims, do let us know in the comments below. I found this a little bit too small to even try on. So I will walk you through the unboxing so you can get a sense for the fabric, the material, these Swarovskis, the placement of those gems, and just the overall essence of what you might experience if you do pick this up. So getting into the packaging itself, I love the Swarovski Skims tissue paper, that it just has the beautiful logo right in there. It feels very cohesive. Getting a first look at our bodysuit, these Swarovskis are so stunning. I have to say I was really blown away. I was not expecting them to be as stunning as they are. I love the packaging, that it comes very properly segmented, so those Swarovskis are not rubbing against each other. It looks like they are very secure and they're not going to fall off. And of course, that it is more concentrated towards the top and kind of dissipates until you get to the bottom. And then around the waistline, there are none at all because, of course, this is a bodysuit. So that would just kind of be uncomfortable. So I do think they thought through a lot of the design with this. Again, as I mentioned, I wasn't able to try this on, so I don't know how comfortable it is. If you have tried this on, or if you have it and love it or hate it, please let us know in the comments below so everyone can benefit from your experience. I do think that it feels like a very lightweight compression material, so it seems to be comfortable. And of course, they have chosen to put these Swarovskis, or not put the Swarovskis, in places that might be uncomfortable, such as the arms, the underside of the arms, armpits. So it seems like a promising item. Let us know what you think. Do you have it? Do you love it? Would you buy it? I will say it's quite interesting to see this item side by side with the bodysuit tank. Because this item has a little bit more design with the crystals, whereas the tank is kind of just concentrated at the top and then dissipates. This one also has that concentration and dissipation, but there's a little bit more design with the arms and the empty spaces that just adds a different element. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, next up, we're going to check out the Swarovski Jelly Sheer Cami long dress, and this is one of Kim Kardashian's most signature looks. This, I would argue, is what Skims is all about. So first we're going to look at the black color, then we're going to get into the tan, and of course we're going to wrap up with the cocoa. I think all are very unique in their different ways, so really excited to have them all side by side. Now, I'm not usually a Skims customer, so it could have been my scope of marketing, but I didn't hear about this collaboration until probably a week before the collection actually dropped. I did watch a few interviews about the collaboration and specifically about the branding. So you'll notice that there is a hexagon on top of the box, which represents the Swarovski diamond. And on some packaging as well as the box, you'll see Skims and Swarovski on alternating facets. On some other pieces, including the jewelry, you'll also notice a dangling S at the back, which was spoken about as a really direct collaboration of an S for both Skims and Swarovski. You'll also see that on the tissue packaging here. Okay, getting a first look at our dress. This was actually the first item that I picked up in the collection, and I was really blown away by the pairing of the crystals. Now, I knew that they were going to be monochrome, but when first seeing the item in person, I actually understood the choice a little bit better, I would say. I was a little skeptical beforehand because, I thought they might not sparkle as much, but they absolutely did. All right, so we actually tried this dress on in an extra small because that's the size that I thought I would wear typically, usually a 0 or a 2. And because this is compression wear and it's, the dress that Kim K is known for, and because it is a very form-fitting look, I thought it was the right sizing choice to size normally or even on the smaller size. After having tried all of the collection, I now know that you should probably go with your more comfortable size, and if you're in between sizes, choose the one that is, a size higher. I do love the Swarovskis. I'm a little curious about the placement. They do taper off quite a bit, so they're more concentrated at the top, both on the front and on the back, and then towards the bottom of the dress they do taper. One thing I did notice about the placement of the Swarovskis, which you can see a little better on, is the placement along the spine. There are confusingly not a lot of Swarovskis right down the middle of the back, which I really wish were filled in. Another design element that you're now noticing is that the bottom of the back of the dress actually has an adjustable zipper, so you can either zip it all the way up as you see now, or all the way down to make more of a column dress. Overall, my biggest pros of this dress is that it is very lightweight. It does feel like it would pack well, and overall it feels like a fun piece. Would I run out and grab this dress and use it as a staple? I'm not entirely sure yet. If you use it, let me know in the comments below. And without further ado, let's try this on in the color Sienna. Now this Sienna color was the first to sell out in every style that it was available. This was really the one that went super viral, and it might be because it is the one that Kim K herself modeled. Of course, this is the signature Skims dress that Kim K is notorious for wearing, and it has gotten a lot of hype without the rhinestone, so it is a staple piece for the collection. Of course, it is the dress that Kim K has gone viral for, or the brand in general has gone viral for, and with the Swarovskis, it makes it that much more embellished and, you know, just a step up. So again, this dress is in the jelly sheer material, which is very light compression. I will say that when I first bought this, I thought it was going to be a heavier compression because I do know it is, you know, meant to give a very svelte figure. I don't think that I had that first impression once I put it on, and we'll put it on towards the end of this video. That is to say that this dress does show all of your curves. So if that's what you're looking for, then it is a great item. But if you want it to be a little bit looser, I do recommend sizing up. I did try the extra small as well as the small. This item is the small, and the small felt just a little bit more forgiving and a little bit more comfortable to move around in. One thing I will note as we are walking through the item is that there are very strategic placements of crystals. So you'll see that they're more concentrated towards the top of the item and they dissipate towards the bottom. And of course, you do have the bottom up, it's kind of halfway from the bottom zip. So you can make it either a column dress or give a little opening. It's definitely a little bit easier to walk in if you do have the opening. Again, just taking a look at the front as well as the sides of the crystals. Note that there are no crystals on the side seam as well as the back spinal cord area. We'll get a better look at that in just a second, but first I want to draw your attention to the zipper. So as I mentioned in the black try-on, you could see that we could zip it or unzip the bottom of the hem all the way up to about the knee area. So when you see this on, let me know how you would wear this. I actually thought it was a lot more comfortable if it was unzipped all the way, and it just adds another design element. So a little fun. All right, getting one more close-up of the crystals and then we'll try this on. So getting a first glimpse of this on, you can see it does kind of blend in with my skin tone. So in many cases with the standard item without the Swarovskis, you could wear this as, an underslip that you just want to disappear. Of course, with the Swarovskis, it will be a little difficult to use this as an undergarment because you will see the outline of those gems. You are now getting a good glimpse of how you can adjust the hem. Even when you have it on, you still can adjust it. Let me know in the comments below which way you prefer, whether it's zipped or unzipped. I do know this is modeled after the stunning Marilyn Monroe iconic dress that Kim K actually wore, so perhaps column zipped all the way down is a little more true to the style. All right, now let's go ahead and try this on in the color Cocoa. Now this color is absolutely stunning. I feel like it was really underhyped from the get-go for how beautiful it is in person. So I'm overall just really excited to be able to show you this and for you to get that firsthand experience with this color. Now these are all standard colors for Skims line, so if you have seen these colors previously, they are likely all the same. All right, first and foremost, just a note about this packaging. It really hit the mark with this collaboration. I feel like it was the perfect kind of shimmer to go along with the Swarovski crystals and give you that full experience from start to finish. Of course, getting a first look at our item, we can also see that instant joy with seeing all of these Swarovski crystals throughout this dress. So first impressions, this color is just so beautiful. It is such a rich cocoa color. These Swarovski crystals are perfectly matched. They almost disappear. Throughout this whole collection, I'm actually very surprised, pleasantly surprised with the pairing of the crystals to the fabric of the items. I do think they had an opportunity to, just go with clear crystals or something that's very shiny and be a little bit more standard, but they really pushed the buttons with this collab and they made it kind of this monochrome experience. Okay, getting a full look at this dress, we can see the front and the back. The rhinestones kind of gather towards the top of the dress and then they dissipate towards the end. I feel like part of this could be leaving some wiggle room for you to have this hemmed because there are no rhinestones whatsoever towards the bottom. I did actually take a look at inspecting the bottom here and we do see that there are 2 layers of fabric, and I think that's what helps with the shapewear component of this dress. So it does feel secure, it feels like it's covered. I have tried this in an extra small as well as a small. This is the small item, which I feel like fit a lot better. It made me feel a lot more confident. So be that what it may, if you have not tried these items before, like I hadn't, I did use the size guide and I ended up sizing up. So getting this dress on for the first time and seeing this cocoa color on for the first time, again, as I mentioned, it's just so stunning. And I think the contrast is just even better. This is my favorite of all of the three in this dress item. So now let's move on to the bandeaus and the skirts and the leggings and all of the separates. First, we're going to start with the jelly sheer bandeau in the color Onyx. All right, so as always, we're going to start by looking at our box. Again, we have our beautiful shiny silver box. This is the size medium that I tried, which is not typically my size. I probably would have gone with an extra small or a small if I was ordering blind, but I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised with the size, and I do, again, feel like there's a lot of flexibility here. Now, I did try on the size small in the color Sienna, which you'll see later on in this video. And for this unboxing itself, I did not try this on because I didn't have the pair yet. So when we get to the skirt unboxing next, you'll actually see them as a pair. So it would be the medium top and actually an extra small skirt in the black. And then in the Sienna, I had a small in each. So use that information when you are trying to order your items. I do know that these are only available on resale at this point because they are fully sold out. So hopefully that sizing and, just knowing that there is a lot of flexibility with this sizing will help you out. All right, getting a closer look at our item, we can really see that they spared no expense putting Swarovskis all over this bandeau. I really think this was one of the more covered items. If you just think of the ratio of surface area to Swarovskis, it really was this item that got the most. Okay, next up, let's take a look at our jelly sheer tube skirt, again in the color Onyx. So after we unbox this skirt, we will put those on together so you can get the full impact. First up, you know that we definitely have to give a hot moment to the packaging. I've talked about this in a few of the other unboxings that we've done, but this Swarovski Skims collaboration boxing is just so beautiful. It is a strikingly reflective silver box that is adorned with a hexagonal shape with the letter S inside. Now, that is a perfect interpretation of the collaboration because you do have the S for Skims and it's in the Skims font, and then you have the hexagonal shape for the Swarovski crystal. Okay, enough about the packaging. Let's take a look at our item. So this is the jelly sheer tube skirt, and we've taken a look at the jelly sheer long dress, the cami dress, previously and in a few different colors, but now we're finally getting a look at the skirt. This skirt looks very similar to the dress when it's off the hanger, but it does have a little bit of a different impact once we put it on. So you will see that when we try this out, but at least the basic features are quite similar. You have a more concentrated collection of Swarovski crystals towards the top of the skirt, and they dissipate towards the bottom. Of course, you also have that really long, beautiful slit right down the back, which gives you some flexibility both to walk as well as to play with some style. So let's go ahead and try this on and see how we feel about it. All right, first impressions were definitely that this is a different vibe than the dress. I honestly can't tell which one I like more. I really do enjoy the cord set or the two-piece bandeau with this tube skirt. I love that it's fitted, of course, with that option for the slit at the bottom. And I really love the concentration of the crystals both on the bandeau and the top of the skirt. Alrighty, we are moving right along. So we're gonna now take a look at the same jelly sheer tube skirt in bandeau, but in the color Sienna. So this is that tan color that has the beautiful light brown Swarovski crystals to match. Now, I always rave about this packaging, but this is unfortunately an example of what you might receive as you are ordering any leftover items, because this is a fully sold out collection. You're getting things that people have already opened. So unfortunately, it doesn't have the exact same aha moment, but when you want the item, you have to, order it from eBay or StockX, and you kind of get what you get at this point. As always, I have put some links to some items below that I think are reputable, specifically with StockX, because they do validate each and every item, and of course some other resellers on eBay that have some good reputations. So you've gotten a look at the skirt so far. Here is the bandeau. As I mentioned when we were trying on the black, these are both in the size small. So this is my traditional size in Skims that I've learned. I could definitely go a little smaller, and it would be a little tighter. I think in the black it is a little bit more forgiving, so you can go even smaller, but I am the most comfortable in the small. So first up, we actually have a guest model today wearing a lovely size medium, just so you can get some size diversity of some of these items. If you do think that you are a medium, this is how it might look on you. So take a look. You can also see that she paired this with a lovely cozy brown sweater. So you can, dress this up or dress this down, dress it, a little bit more winter, fall, or a little bit more Miami. Let me know which styling you prefer below, if you like both, and which color you're more attracted to in this set. Okay, next up we're trying on the Jelly Sheer high-waisted leggings, again in the color Sienna. Now this size was a little bit different too. I actually tried this on in a size medium and it was a little big, but we'll get into that full review when we put this on. First, let's take a look at the item itself. Now this item is the legging version of a few of the other items that we've seen, but what's unique about this item is that the Swarovski placement is a little different. So this legging item actually has more of a concentration towards the top and it tapers off as it gets to the legs, which you can see on both sides. The crystals are, again, the same crystals throughout the collection, and they are just so perfectly matched. It is really a great piece. I really like this pairing that they did with the crystals and the fabric. The one thing that I found a little interesting looking at the item itself, not necessarily on, which you'll see in a moment, was the placement or the distinction of the seam going down the bum area. So while off of the body, they're a little bit more pronounced, the seams. They kind of disappear a little bit more when they're on, but I will let you be the judge of that when we try these on. So taking a look, you can see the overall fit is intended to be high-waisted. They're intended to be snug. This is the size M, and I usually wear a size 0 or a 2, so I do think that these are a little large. You will see that I've tried these on with a pair of leggings underneath, and that's just to compensate for the size a little bit. Overall, they feel like sturdy leggings. I love the elastic at the top, and the jelly sheer material is just so luxurious. Unfortunately, I don't think that this would be an item that I personally would wear, partly because of that seam, and another part because I'm just not sure where I would wear these. So let me know if you have any ideas of where these items go in the comments below. All right, now we're going to transition and start taking a look at the catsuits. So first up, we have the Jelly Sheer halter catsuit in, again, the color Sienna. Later on, we will take a look at this catsuit in the long sleeve version in Sienna and also in black. We will also try those on in a diversity of sizes so you can start to get a sense for what is your size. So again, I'm trying this on in the size medium, mainly because that's what was available. The black one that we do try on will be in the size small, so you can see something that's a little bit more fitted. Taking a look at our catsuit for the first time, of course, if you've seen the other reviews, you won't be as much of in awe. However, I feel like every time I see a new one of these products, I still get that same excitement. So the excitement has not worn off for me yet, and I've seen a lot of these products at this point. I still love the color combination of the sienna color and the chosen Swarovski crystals. I think the pairing is just so unique and so striking. Now we are looking at the catsuit halter, so we can see that the halter neck itself has 3 different size notches that you can select from. You'll see once we put this on that it actually is very fitted. So I think the loosest one is what I chose to use, and I can't imagine using anything tighter, but if you do need that flexibility, you have it there. Taking a look at the legging itself, you can see that this is a 2-ply fabric, which I think is a really smart idea, just to give a little bit more coverage or compression. Now you can see that the Swarovski crystals taper off as we get to the bottom of the item, which is the same with all of the other items in this collection, which I think is a smart idea to leave room for some design as well as some editing of length. All right, getting one last look at this luxurious silky material, and let's go ahead and pop this on. So I did try this on in a size M, and given the size, as we discovered with the leggings that were a little bit large in the size M, I did try it on with a bandeau underneath just for a little bit more security. Overall, it is a little large, but I do still think it's quite striking. I still don't fully know where this would be worn, but I just love the buttery fabric and the overall fit. Let me know where you would wear this in the comments. Okay, next up we have Jelly Sheer long sleeve catsuit in the color Sienna. Now this is the first time I'm seeing the catsuit, and of course the first time I tried it on, and I must say that I am pleasantly surprised. At first I thought that the Swarovski crystal placement was a little strange, and I think seeing it in person really helped that out a little bit. So of course we do have the silver packaging and branding. This one didn't come with the box, which I thought was interesting. It must have been a return where someone didn't return the box, so that's unfortunate. Now in terms of style, you can see the crystals are all throughout the item. Where on the dress, there is a large section towards the bottom where there are no crystals at all. So I do feel like they went above and beyond with this item. They do get less concentrated as you move down the garment, but it does give it a styled look. Now there is a concentration of crystals around the spine as well as the chest and pelvic area, but in person it doesn't call as much attention as I thought it would. Now this was a little too risque to post the try on, maybe because the color matched my skin tone a little bit too much. So we did try it on in the size small in black, and that one we will try on. So first let's unbox that item and then we will get to our review. Okay, first up, of course, we are digging into our signature Skims Swarovski silver box. And you can see that this item is actually coming to us new. Remember how I mentioned that you can tell like if the package had been opened? Well, I guess it does look like it had been opened, but it's, you know, very well preserved. So some folks are treating them a little bit more kindly than others. Again, be sure to check in the description below for links to some of those reselling items like StockX. I do think that they just preserve their items a little bit better. And of course they authenticate, so they should be very trustworthy. Now, taking a look at the catsuit for the first time, I do think this gives a different essence than the tan one did. I actually like it a lot better in the black. And even when we look at the reselling prices, these black items are going for a lot more, at least the catsuit. The tan ones, I think, are going for a lot more because they are that signature color and they are kind of the nude look. And it is, you know, reminiscent of the Marilyn Monroe dress, but these black items are just very striking. So taking a look at the placement, we see the same placement as on the tan one, but you can see that concentration of Swarovski crystals along the chest area and the bikini area, and of course the tapering as we get to the bottom of the item. It looks a little strange lying here flat, I must admit, but once we get it on, you will see the difference. Now taking a look at the leg, the bottom of the leg, I always love to do this with leggings because it really shows like whether it's one ply of material or two. So this one is actually two, which I think is really nice, and it probably is why, you know, it gives a little bit more compression, but it's not very noticeable. It is a very, very thin, soft, buttery material, but I do think just having that second layer will just make you feel a little bit more secure. I definitely feel like I could tell that it was more compression-y than just one ply of fabric. All right, let's go ahead and try this on. So my first impression putting this on is that the overall buttery material is just so comfortable, so soft. It is really an item that I would want to find places to wear. I don't entirely know where to wear this. I've seen some people style it with a blazer, or I don't know, maybe even putting a skirt over it or something like that, but let me know in the comments below if you have an idea of where to put this. You can see a little bit better how the crystals gather towards the chest and the bikini area, and then you can also start to notice the empty spaces. Overall, I do think this was my favorite piece in the Jelly Sheer collection, but let me know what was yours in the comment below. All right, now we're going to get into our cotton rib items. So this is the cotton rib plunge bralette. First, we're gonna take a look at it in the color bubblegum, and then we'll take a look at it in the color light heather gray. So again, I feel like these items were not exactly the ones that I was going to try on camera, but we will unbox these so you get the full impact of what you're looking at. Now, I do think these items are also available outside of the Swarovski collection. So if you do know your size, then that is, you know, a good size to go off of. It's the same brand, same item, so it's a good start. And then make any comparisons that you need to when looking at these items specifically. Now, I had never tried these before, so I tried this pink one on in a size extra small, and it was fine, it fit fine. And I do think that the band, how it is kind of very sturdy, but it has those 4 adjustable straps, gives you some flexibility to play with. So I actually ended up trying this in the light heather gray in an extra small, which I felt also fit. For reference, I am a 32C, and the sister size of that is a 34B. And I feel like because these materials are, you know, the cotton rib material, they are a little stretchy, they give a little bit of give, which I will show you on camera. I do think there is some movement that you have within sizes. So I don't feel like it's, as cut and dry as a numbered size. And maybe that's why they chose to do, more of a letter size convention, that it does give you a little bit more flexibility. Of course, you have the adjustable straps, which make it a little bit easier to find your size as well. But I will make a note that the only critique I have is that the band itself, if you do find your right size, then it's great. And if you don't, when I was pulling it, I did feel kind of like a little pop. So I'm not sure if over time these crystals are going to wear off just because of the movement in the elastic around the band. So just keep that in mind and maybe be a little bit delicate when you're, wearing or washing or taking off this item. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at our light heather gray cotton rib plunge bralette. So this is the gray version of the pink bralette that we just saw, and I honestly think that this piece is just very, very striking. I liked this gray a little bit more than I thought I would. Originally, I thought that the white would probably be my favorite, and we will take a look at a few of the white items here in a moment. And I thought that the pink would be the most fun, but I actually felt that the gray was just really special. I don't know if it's because of the pairing of the crystals with the gray. It just kind of illuminates the whole item. I also felt like this with the matching set was really striking too. So I wasn't able to try the pink or the white with the matching set just yet. If I do find those items, I will definitely be sure to post them. But for now, this is definitely my leading favorite. Now you can see that it has the same give as the other item. It feels like it has a little bit of flexibility in the cup area as well as in the band size. Now I mentioned this was the extra small, and I'm usually a 32 around the band, maybe a 34 if it's a B. So I did feel like I could wear this. I definitely didn't put it on the tightest one, but I feel like because they gave you 4 of those eye hooks, it gives you a little bit more flexibility. So putting that one aside, and let's go ahead and hold up our brief to it. So you can definitely see that this item paired with the brief itself in the matching color was so striking. This was the size small, although the size comparison looks very different here. And of course, here's the white, just to see if you wanted to pair the gray top with the white bottom, or use your imagination and try to go the other way. So now let's actually take an unboxing look at our brief. So unfortunately, this item, you can see by the tape on our beautiful Swarovski box, was already open. So I would just definitely suggest, if you are purchasing any of these items in a resale, you should definitely wash them first. I know that some transactions can be a little shady, and especially when you're talking about intimate wear, you want to make sure that it's clean. So throw it in the wash before you try it on, even if you know you're going to keep it and it's your size. Of course, if it's, you're trying it on for the first time, just try it on top of something, because you just want to be really sanitary. So taking a look at the waistband, it is the same waistband as the plunge bra, and it does have the same thickness and everything. So it really does, pick up where it left off with the other item. Now, I wasn't able to see the brief in the white, but holding up the white to it, maybe you can use your imagination and see, what would the white look like in a brief and vice versa. Of course, now we will go ahead and unbox our final item in this collaboration, which is the cotton rib boxer in the marble color. So marble is what they call their white color in this collaboration. And again, I will just say that originally I thought this was going to be my favorite item, and it turned out to be my least favorite. So I really wasn't a fan of this white color. I felt like it could get really dirty really easily. One of my items actually came with a spot on it, so that was a little off-putting. But I do, I like the overall concept. I liked the material and the thickness of the band, the softness of the cotton rib material, but the white just wasn't doing it for me. Perhaps if I had seen it with the matching plunge bralette, like maybe that would have made a difference and it would have completed the set and made it a little bit of a, more full experience, but it just wasn't my favorite piece of all of the separates that I purchased. All right, if you've made it this far, I will just take this moment to wrap up and say thank you so much for watching. If you got any value from this, I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It really does help our channel, and it makes sure that we can, keep funding some of these unboxings for you and bringing you this free content daily. Of course, let us know if you've purchased any of these items or if you plan to purchase any of these items from our review. Again, thanks for watching and be well.